Well, it's getting kind of scary. We're in the zone. We're here. We're in like the space, the window, and we still don't know shit. All right, so we've got 12 months for y'all to figure out what the fuck y'all gonna do. So like, get to it. Maybe, please. All right. So here's what we gotta do. We gotta be patient. We gotta sit down. We gotta figure this shit out. Okay. The best way to figure this shit out is to look to history. Let's look to the past. What have they done before? What is the way they move and shake? How did they get into this? You know, what does Rockstar marketing even look like? Okay, so I realize now there are people who were children when Red Dead Redemption came out. There are people who were not alive when GTA 5 came out, and there's a sizable number of them. So all they know is that this is very highly anticipated game, this cultural phenomenon that's about to come out very soon, right? And that's really cool. Everybody's excited for it, right? But they don't know what it's like to go through this toxic relationship with Rockstar Games, okay? These people will ghost you for years. I mean, literally years. As we've seen, we're all aware of with GTA 5, the space between GTA 5's release and GTA 6 release, we can kind of see it's a little bit of a ghost situation. It's like a one night stand, and that's it. You know, maybe you'll see them in the supermarket, and you just kind of look away, kind of walk away, pretend like they don't see you. Miss me with that bullshit. All right, so me personally, I've been a fan of this series for years and years, since I was in middle school. All right, you know, growing up, I played, you know, the big games, right? The ones that everybody had to play, I guess you could say. You know, I played GTA 3. I loved Vice City. Okay, that was cool. I used to go home, you shoot the shit up or whatever, the city, and, you know, just like a regular kid stuff, right? You know, I would play Spider-Man 2, you know, the bigger releases. You know, the stuff that everyone had to get into, you know, quote unquote. But I wasn't really a gamer until middle school. I remember one of my earliest memories, right? I goes into my friend's house. He's got the new fresh game that everybody's talking about, GTA 5. Of course, like I said, I grew up playing the older one, so it was like, okay, cool. You know, let's take a look. Goes into the room, man. Guy rolls up top of the building on a dirt bike, takes out a rocket launcher, shoots at a helicopter. And I just remember being captivated because I just felt like I was in a new world now. Like, I felt like technology had finally got to that place where, I don't know, video games were interesting to me. I was a movie guy coming up. You know, I love movies. I love watching. I love the way things develop. I love blocking. I love all the different language of cinema. And I feel as though finally, the video game industry, genre, medium finally got to that point where we can use those same language, that same tools that I was so in love with. So years and years later, here I am, waiting for GTA 6 just like the rest of you, right? But here's the thing. I'm not the only one that's a little concerned. Just check the subreddit. They don't like me there very much. I feel like an enlightenment thinker. You know, everyone wants to, you know, strategize around like moon phases and stuff. And I'm just like, maybe we should wait. You know, that's just me. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. But regardless, there's a lot of people who think the game's going to be delayed. I'm kind of one of them, but I'm trying to be positive, right? There's some that thinks that the trailer's right around the corner. You just got to check the previous trailers and look for signs and scribbles and cave drawings and stuff to figure out when. There's people like that, and not, you know, no judgment. But there's also some that think we won't get the game to 2027. I'm halfway one of those guys, but like I said, I am trying to be positive. There's also a lot of people who think that Rockstar's going to stick to the original release date. They're just going to have a shorter marketing window than maybe people are used to. And I find that there's a lot of resistance to that idea. And I don't really understand it. Specifically looking at the history of Rockstar Games, specifically looking at the history of entertainment marketing the last decade, people don't seem to understand that we live in a new world. You don't have to run commercials on TV to get your information out. At the end of the day, you have the internet. You have people like me who talk about a thing, and this is marketing. I'm marketing the game. Me talking to you about the game is putting that information in your head that says, maybe GTA 5 is something that I should be excited about, you know? But I found some things that maybe kind of help that out, and also some stuff that kind of makes it look a little bit scary. I mean, it's kind of fucking scary, right? If you think about it. We have, within the next 12 months, within the calendar year, we should be having the game in our hands. But let's be honest, Rockstar doesn't really have a history that should make you feel comfortable in that, you know? Or at least it's reasonable to not feel comfortable in that, right? Okay, I think we can all agree, or at least all of us that's been here. Now, me, what do I think? I think any of this is possible. What I think is most likely? Well, let's put ourselves in the shoes of Rockstar, Take-Two, you know, the multi-million-dollar company who threatens modders with legal action if they have absolutely any chance of infringing on their potential to make millions and billions of dollars in the future off of decades-old games. I mean, literally, just look at the Liberty City Remaster project that's just been taken offline. It's what they do, guys. They like money. They strategize. You go to GTA Online, you can buy a mid-size sedan for $12 million. It is what it is. The beautiful part is, it does seem like they like to reinvest the things they bring in. So that's cool. That's you get, quote unquote, the highest quality games, but you also get shifted and shafted the whole time. It's a give and take. It's how capitalism, I guess, is supposed to work, right? Maybe you get fucked a little bit and then you can do a little fucking. That's the cool part, right? I guess. I don't know. It is what it is, right? In my opinion, I think we all can agree that Rockstar has some of the top artists in the industry working with them. But we also can agree, them guys, about them coins, okay? It's been no expensive production, but they will get that back from you, all right? They gonna get that shit back. It just is what it is. You gonna have to accept it. We all accept it. We've been doing it for decades now. So that kind of leads me to my reasoning. The fact is, this game's kind of marketing proof, or at least, what do I mean by that? You don't have to market this shit, okay? It sells itself. Part of being in the position where you are a tastemaker, you are a benchmark in your industry for a very long time, one of the benefits you get is that you don't have to persuade people to believe in you. You don't. The whole point of marketing, let's break it down to a science. The whole point of marketing is that you're trying to communicate to customers, one, what your product is, two, how awesome it is, and three, how their lives are improved by having it. The simple fact is, we all know all three of those things because we've been dealing with these guys for decades. They built the cultural cachet to take advantage of our obsession. When you go to a comment section for anything, I mean, it literally doesn't have to involve gaming. It doesn't have to involve anything related to the GTA franchise whatsoever. But you go into franchise, what's one of the more popular comments or something fantastical happens in human history? What is it? We got this before GTA 6. We got blah, blah, blah before GTA 6. This happened before GTA 6. That shit's marketing. It's in the air. This is one of those products that you don't have to spend money to inform people about. When installments on your franchise comes out and the United States productivity goes down nationally, you don't have to market your game, okay? When you make $1 billion in 3 days in sales, you don't have to market your products. You don't. When you make a Western, no one can make a Western successful. They made 75 million. What's that, like 10? That's 12 million copies they sold in 3 days. A Western. I mean, these guys have a special place in the culture. They have a special place in the industry that we all appreciate. But the simple fact is they're aware of it. And this is a multi-million-dollar corporation. At the end of the day, these guys are brilliant artisans. They have created some of the most amazing products in the genre's history. There are some, and I'm one of them, who think that GTA 4 could be put in some type of museum, some type of time capsule for what 2008 felt like. The vibes, the energy, the spirit of it all. Rockstar Games put such a devotion into depicting the reality outside your window at whatever current time period and era you live in that it just naturally becomes a representation of that time. They do it so well that when time goes away, when you come back to those games, you sort of feel this sense of nostalgia, not just for the product, but for that world. The pop culture, the language they have, the way they dress, the food they eat. It's what they do. It's amazing. But the simple fact is, first and foremost, these niggas want to make money, okay? And they want to save money. That's a big part of a corporation. The way a corporation stays afloat is you maximize revenue and you minimize resource cost, okay? The simple fact is, they don't have to put out a trailer. You know you're going to buy this game. The only reason they will put out a trailer is, like, it's just, like, to be cool. Like, literally just to feed us so we can just, and I mean, they do the best promo. If you ask me, I think Rockstar, and fuck you for acting like Ubisoft don't do nothing decent. One thing I will definitely say, Rockstar and Ubisoft are probably neck and neck when it comes to, promotional marketing. When it comes to distilling down their products into the most thematically cool, the most visually, I don't know, just taking the attitude of what it is and just distilling it down into a visual. I think Rockstar Games are great at it, and it's something that I'm excited to get into with GTA 6. One, because it's going to inform me what type of product this is going to be. What are your inspirations? What are you trying to do with it? And what is the tone? What are you going for? So I'm super excited for all of that. But I'm not going to let that excitement cloud me. There are some people who genuinely don't think it would be odd for Rockstar to delay this game. They think genuinely, and I do think it's like a hope-based mentality. It's a way to look at things of how you want things to be versus what they are. I think a lot of us do that in a lot of different places, but I think it is the majority of people's thought process when it comes to if this game is delayed or not. Specifically because let's examine the history of Rockstar. I mean, there's a reason that people pretty much assume this shit's not coming out in 2025. Okay, I mean, it's like if you fool me once, fool me twice, we've all heard it. Okay, you fooled me for 17 fucking years. I mean, I think at some point maybe you're not the best at scheduling. It's okay. You're good at making games. You're the best. You're fucking awesome at it. But scheduling is not your shit. I mean, let's look back to the past. Let's not forget these guys were the gods of crunch. Okay, it's a reason it happens. They are ambitious developers, and this is part of what comes with ambition, unfortunately. I mean, I think it doesn't have to be that way. I just think we settle for that in a lot of ways. But that's a whole nother conversation. What I'm saying is Rockstar Games delay their games. It is what it is. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. GTA 4, all right? First announced release date. The announcement said late 2007. Finally comes out spring 2008. I remember, like I said, I've told the story. I remember this era. I wasn't really there for the pre-release. I just knew it was coming out because it's a phenomenon. But like I said, I wasn't really a gamer, so it was like, okay, cool, I'll play it if it comes out one day, whatever. I didn't have an Xbox. We were broke as fuck, so it was like, all right, whatever. Finally gets around 2008. Red Dead Redemption. Game gets announced. First release date is 2009. Actual release date, 2010. LA Noire. Their first release date that was announced was 2008. Shit didn't come out until 2011. Max Payne 3 don't even get started on that. Their first release date was announced was spring 2009 through pre-release materials. We didn't get the game till 2012. That's just how they do things. But we're going to get to the part that I think's interesting, right? GTA 5 rolls around. Starting with GTA 5, Rockstar goes to a new business model. At this point, they're no longer doing, multiple games or, games every year. You have multiple studios working on different projects at once or whatever. At this point, now they kind of transferred into everybody's all hands on deck. We're all working on one game. This is Rockstar Games presents GTA 5. Rockstar Games presents this versus Rockstar North, Rockstar San Diego, this, that, and the third. I think the first time I seen that was Max Payne 3. I think Max Payne 3 made it very clear that everybody was working on that one. But they were kind of neck and neck with doing that, and Zoll's putting that GTA 5 at the same time. But when GTA 5 came around, they were like, fuck that model. We need to just focus on one project, one product. But here's something that changes after that. GTA 5's first announced release date was spring 2013. The final release date, fall 2013. Okay, same year, right? Cool. Red Dead 2. In my opinion, the best game of all time. Of all fucking time. I mean, GTA 4, like I said, I have a special relationship with that game. But Red Dead's better than it. Came out 2018, but the first announced release date was early 2018. Didn't finally get around to late 2018. I think it was like October or something like that. But keep in mind, the same year. So, what can we take from this? That Rockstar is getting better at scheduling their games. Hear me out. GTA 5, Red Dead, games that are made very similar to how GTA 6 is being produced. All hands on deck, all studios at once, right? Right. Both of those games faced delays that stayed within the calendar year. Here's what's different about GTA 6. Their first announced release date was just a year window, 2025. I'm not saying the game's going to come out this year, but I'm saying if I can look at things, it seems as though Rockstar has learned from their history. Instead of announcing a concrete release date, they announce a yearly window, and it's a good place to assume it's probably going to be released by then, right? Now Rockstar have all of 2025 instead of spring 2025 to force this shit out, okay? I genuinely think, if you look at it, if they would have said 2013 in the first original release announcement of GTA 5, it would have been on time. If they would have did the same thing for Red Dead, it would have been on time. So I think there's some sort of, I think there is a learning process that's going on here with Rockstar that I hope benefits us in the end of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, and like I said, a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people struggle with the idea that the game can still come out simply because of the way it's being marketed or its lack thereof marketing, right? But I want to go back to my original point about the fact that these guys don't have to do it. And I'm going to say there's a couple brands out there that don't really have to do it. Or at least don't have to do it. They don't have to have aggressive marketing strategies. Okay, the difference between a super hit and a hit is marketing. Don't get me wrong. That's factual. But I will say this. This is one thing I will say. There are some some brands that benefit so much from word of mouth and cultural understanding, cultural significance, that one could argue you'd have to spend less on communicating the project. That's all I'm simply saying. The most optimistic way to look at this, right, is assume GTA's internal delay history is crazy. Because if you look at those other games, the internal delay is even worse. Let's go back. The internal delays on some of these projects are fascinating. I mean, there are games that were in development for a long period of time, and we didn't even get any information on them until they got to some sort of workable, visible, observable form, right? But by the time we got that information, we still were facing those delays. I do genuinely think, by the time we got public information about the projects, they still had to face the delay because they weren't at that point. It was like, yeah, we're ready to take it home. I think Rockstar just learned. I do. I genuinely think they've learned. I think GTA 6, as we can obviously tell, I don't think no one chooses to wait 7 years from their last product, 12 years from their last installment of their franchise on purpose. I don't think anybody chooses to do that. I think ambition, I think production just got to a point where it was only so much they can do in so much time. So I think the internal delays of GTA 6 were probably crucial. And I mean, we've seen it. We can see the record of that, right? So I think we're in a good place. I do. I genuinely think we're in a good place. And I think the biggest resistance a lot of people have is they think it's not possible to have such a short release window and have an effective marketing scheme. So I just want to bring up some examples from pop culture that show that when you get to that point, when you get to that upper echelon of entertainment brand, you don't have to tell people to fuck with you. You don't. You don't have to do it. Like, my honest opinion, fully honest opinion, I think Rockstar is probably going to do a 6-month marketing window. I think regardless if they delayed it or not, it's going to be that. I think they're that type of brand where that's effective and it's cost effective as well. So I just think it's the best strategy for them to get into. And I think nowadays we don't understand that we have such short attention spans that it's actually great if you condense your marketing. Instead of saying it's a year worth of previews and videos and trailers and interviews and all that shit, condense it down into 6 months so that way every 2 weeks now you got new information instead of you having to wait a month or so, right? I think if you think about it, 12 months, you cut it in half. 2 weeks per drop versus a month or so, give or take. I think Rockstar's trying to avoid the delay embarrassment and conflict that comes from it. So I think they're going to announce pre-orders, a serious, solid, heavy release date, right at the top of trailer 2. This is going to be closely followed by previews, your official gameplay clips, those trailers that everybody loves, including me. And, there are other typical marketing practices, painting billboards and all that shit, right? I think all that's going to come within that 6-month window. And I think probably, I guess, like around the June time, right? I think that's probably a reasonable time if the game is still coming out this year. Summer, May, I think that's when you could probably look towards GTA, starting its marketing push. I personally think. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people who think that 6 months is not long enough. I just want to show you some shit to maybe make you think, maybe it's not the worst idea. You know what I'm saying? It's not the worst, craziest concept, right? Hear me out. Check this out. Avengers Endgame, Trailer 1, December 2018. The final release was April 2019. First week, box office haul, 1.2 billion worldwide with a 6 months marketing window. Lifetime sales, 2.9 billion. This is the reason I want to put in first week and lifetime sales, because I feel like people don't understand what word of mouth does. I feel people don't understand that, oh, GTA 6 is out now. It's an incredible marketing, right? Like, it's out. Like, oh, I played it. It's cool. Like, people don't understand. Like, I think people are a lot of stuck, because I think we have this award focus, silver star focus culture that's like, you can't just be a success. You want to be like a rousing success. Like, you want to be like, everybody can look at it and be like, motherfucker, that's historic. So I think a lot of people think that if it's not breaking records first week, it's not like a success. But I want you to see these lifetime numbers, because I want you to understand that, like, the fact that I tell you it's out and it's good, it's also money coming in your pocket too. That's marketing in itself. So let's look this. Anyways, back on the topic. Spider-Man No Way Home. First trailer, August 2021. Final release, December 2021. I think that's less than 6 months. Let's see. August. It was like the end. I remember this fit vividly. It was like the end of August. First weekend. 600 million in the pandemic. 600 million worldwide in the niggas chose to go see Tobey Maguire in the spandex instead of fucking, like, niggas might have died to do that shit. And it was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do with my time. That's the power entertainment has over the culture. Okay, for context, okay, when Spider-Man No Way Home debuted, first weekend at $600 million, the next biggest opening worldwide that year was $450 million less. Spider-Man No Way Home lifetime sales, 1.9 billion in a pandemic. But I know what you guys are thinking, and I kind of thought something similar. All right, let's be real. If I tell you in 6 months something's gonna happen, we're saving up to go on a trip, right, or something like that. In 6 months, I'm gonna need $13.50 from you. I'm gonna need about $10 to $20 from you to come on this trip. I think that's substantially easier than me saying I'm gonna need $70 from you, $60 even, right? I get it, because, you know, a movie ticket's a lot cheaper than the video games. I mean, of course, you have to scramble a lot less together. So hear me out though. Here's an example of a small marketing window that can prove that this shit's pretty effective. Hear me out. All right, so technical difficulties, life, work, all of that made things a little bit delayed. So here I am, but I'm back. I'm finishing up. I promise. I'm gonna wrap it up. We're moving it fast, okay? All right, just let me get through this. Anyway, so Fallout 4 gets its reveal, announcement, June 2015, right? Cool. Everybody's excited for it. I think you got the E3 showcase, fast turnaround. Game finally comes out in November 2015. That's just 5 months, right? 5 months goes around. First week sales, 5 million. Increments of $60 paid to Bethesda. Fallout 3 was something of like a cultural event, right? I didn't know much about gaming, but I do remember browsing like Game Informers and stuff at the time, primarily when I fell a little bit of a love with GTA 4. Kind of remember going back through it and hearing about like one of the better games that came out that year was Fallout 3. I think it got a couple Game of the Year awards. I think it was a big sore spot for me because I was like super adamant that GTA 4 should got everything, but Fallout got some love too. So don't get me wrong, Fallout was a big franchise in 2015, or long awaited one rather, right? So hear me out. I assure you, it's nothing compared to the hype for GTA 6. Think about how many 2015 Fallout 4 hypes do you think you can fit into the GTA 6 hype machine that's going right now, right? Quite a bit. So if in 2015 you can move 5 million units with 5 months of marketing, I think in 2025 you can do a lot more. That was 10 years ago. Now we're in today. Social media is bigger than it has been, of course, and it will continually grow over time. So I think the marketing schemes of things are going to change to move in this direction anyway, at least for the bigger franchises. But I'm only saying this because I just want us to be prepared, okay? Because I think personally, I really truly believe this might be the way they go about it, right? One, it's cost effective. That's what the fuck these guys like. Two, it's kind of stops them having to deal with delays and long drawn out process. Another thing too, let's not ignore the fact that, you know, audience retention is a thing. We have shorter attention spans, so it's cooler for us to benefit from the fact that, one, you might have to go maybe 2 weeks without information now, instead of like the months and months and months that go between a batch of screenshots coming out or a Game Informer article, right? So I personally think this is a win-win for everybody. Personally, here's hoping we get something soon, though, right? Like, as fun as the GTA excitement period is, okay, as much as a part of the game that it is, right? It's part of the enjoyment process. You being there, being excited to see what the mini map looks like and how different everything is. Because Rockstar's one of those unique people that when they make a new game, like, the shit's gonna be different. Each individual game in the franchise does something new. They might go the arcade action 80s movie route again, which would be cool. You know, it was comedic. Don't give me, the missions were very exciting. Or they might go back to that GTA 5 kind of, or GTA 4 kind of route, where it's a little bit slower paced, smaller, scale, deliberate, darker tone, darker themes. Who knows? All I know is I just want to know more. So I can't be the only one, right? That's the reason we're here together talking about this shit, right? But hey, maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. If you think that, if you truly think that, let me know. Like, type it out, okay? Tell me I'm an asshole, all right? Type it out down there. Give me your theories. Just let me know when you think the market is going to start up, okay? We're both just throwing stuff out in the wind anyway. So let's throw in together. I don't know. As far as the channel goes, I'm going to be doing stuff like this a lot more. Talking about stuff that excites me in movies and video games and music. So, I don't know, if you're into all that pop culture shit, maybe hit that subscribe button. Stick around. Pop back up. I might have some interesting takes, interesting info, or just a review, or maybe we can just shoot the shit every once in a while. Pop up on me. But, either way, this has been all. Thanks for letting me ramble like this. Hope to see you next time. Be easy.